So what's your experience traveling abroad?
I've actually never been to Europe. The one time previous, we were supposed to go. I was injured, so I didn't get the chance to go. This will be my first time. I've been asking for a lot of tips. I've traveled to south of the equator a couple of times on casual trips, but my only out of the country game was Mexico City back in 2016. So this is my first time really going across the pond.
Watch when you plug in stuff. Be careful.
That is noted. Thank you.
My adapter did not come on time. Amazon, everything, the whole world is backed up. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to write a story.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Austin Jackson was telling us he hadn't played the guard position since an all-star game in high school. Did he kind of ask you some questions before or during the game?
I think as an offensive line, if you don't ask each other questions, you're sort of nuts. Every play is a constant flow of communication. As we continue to get more comfortable with each other, maybe the communication sort of becomes more almost like we're completing each other's sentences. But I feel like there's a dialogue, if you will, every play between all the positions. And I think that's pivotal to improving your play, is being able to know what everyone else is doing.
Would you be giving away secrets? I've noticed that right before snaps, I think it's Rob will tap maybe you on the leg. I don't know if I'm asking for state secrets, but what does some of that stuff mean?
I think that's a part of the communications. There are a couple different things that all can mean, but that is part of the communication. Especially when it's loud, right? It's harder to hear verbal signals, so you got to give like physical signals, pointing, tapping, all that stuff. So you definitely noticed a signal. You did not give away any secrets, though. We'll figure it out.
I'm trying to remember when you jumped into the lineup. Tua was not in the lineup. Right? So this is the first time starting with starting with a new quarterback, a left-handed quarterback. I'm curious, did the left-handed thing different? Did it change anything about your responsibility?
So I took snaps with Tua when I first got here, and that was a question that I asked, and he said no. So, my only thought was under center, because you always try to snap it to them. And he said, no, you're fine no matter how you snap it normally. So, the answer to that question is no, there is nothing different. You just have to get it back there accurately.
You guys have had 5 different starting offensive lines in the 5 games so far. If this week there's some continuity, how much does that help, just having that continuity?
Well, I think every time you play, whether it's practice, whether you're in a meeting, whether you're in a game, you practice and you play with the guy next to you, get more comfortable with him, right? And when I first came to the meeting, right, I talked about diving in, like getting to know the guys, seeing what they're all about. Like that sort of stuff is important because, like you said, when you play next to someone, and say I would have shown up that first day and played the first game, like that would have been hard. I talked about the communication with him about how you need to have that communication, and you start to finish each other's sentences as you play more and more together. So I do think that is a developing thing every day, but I do think continuous playing together helps, but it's more about building the relationships and working together and being able to finish each other's thoughts and sentences.